Hey guys, Sergeant Melon here, and today I want to talk about a few problems that I feel like a lot of the Battlefield community have had with the lack of new content on a regular basis in BF5. BF5 launched back in late November of 2018, and since then the content has been sputtering out from DICE. With the introduction of Tides of War, we were promised free new content along with weekly challenges, very similar to what Fortnite does with their Seasons and Battle Pass model. This was a significant departure compared to the previous premium model. At this point, the game has been out for about 6.5 months, and since then we've gotten one map, which was Panzerstorm, right after launch, a handful of weapons, and the Firestorm Battle Royale mode. I don't even want to count the final single player campaign, The Last Tiger, since I think that should have shipped with the game at launch. We've also had to wait for the delayed implementation of vehicle skins, not to mention the ugly UI that's extremely difficult to navigate and the opposite of user-friendly. And yes, Steve Jobs would not have accepted this. We've also gotten some various limited time only modes like Grind and Fortress, which are essentially tweaks to existing game modes like Breakthrough. This feels like filler. The BF5 community is already pretty ready for new content. With Firestorm player counts dropping and a large player count for BF4 and BF1 despite their release years ago, it's pretty evident that BF5 is lacking something, or in our case, a lot of things. We do have a new map to look forward to in a few days, along with the start of the newest chapter for Tides of War. The map is coming in May and is titled Mercury, which features a German assault on the Allied defended coast of Greece. This should be pretty interesting to shake up the now routine map rotation that we've been enduring since December of 2018. The 5th chapter of Tides of War is set to start in the fall later this year and is titled Awakening the Giant, which many in the Battlefield community have speculated is the US in the Pacific theater. This means new factions in the US and Japanese, along with a few new maps hopefully, and hopefully some naval combat as well. While this is all great that it's planned, DICE has had some trouble delivering on deliverables on time in the past. Squad Conquest was originally promised during the 2nd chapter of Tides of War, but came a few months later during the 3rd chapter. I wouldn't hold on to any specific dates for the release of new content that are coming down the line. Looking at other games that people are playing now, whether that's Fortnite, Apex, there's always new content, whether that's cosmetics, weapons, vehicles. They come more frequently and with a lot more items at a time. The least DICE could do is update the Firestorm map on a monthly basis, or maybe even a bi-weekly basis. Now, what content would I like to see if I had a say? I would like the American faction to be available in new maps set in Europe and the Pacific theater. Any gamer thinking back to iconic World War II games like Call of Duty or World at War can remember the feel of playing in the Pacific theater or against the Nazi zombies. Iconic American weapons like the Bar and M1 Garand would also be nice. The introduction of naval warfare would also be really cool. I think BF4 did a fantastic job balancing boats and being able to recreate iconic battles from World War II in the Pacific theater like Midway or Wake Island would be fun to play with BF5 mechanics. It would also add a whole new complexity and layer to the game that makes Battlefield games unique. And there's a certain feel that Battlefield games have that you can't get in any other game. When there's explosions going on all around you, planes flying overhead, tanks exploding 10 feet away from you, there's nothing like it. No other franchise has been able to successfully do what Battlefield has done in terms of the balance between infantry and vehicular combat. I'd also like to see the Soviets added to the game as a playable faction. This would add more maps and more weapons to use that were featured on Germany's Eastern Front. Imagine a recreation of the Battle of Stalingrad on the Frostbite engine, or even a BF5 rendition of D-Day. The possibilities are pretty much endless, and there's definitely no shortage of historical events to draw from for inspiration. It's all up to DICE to be able to create faithful and enjoyable gaming experiences from these events. Let me know what you'd want to see in future content drops for BF5 below. And that's pretty much it for today. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one.